Well, it says we're live.
It must be a university challenge, this.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Well, I think we're live. Can anyone in the comments please let me know if you can hear me waffling on?
University challenge, this. Oh, who's got?
Well, I think we're on.
It's not me.
This is a rookie error.
There we go. We're done.
It was you. It was Elf. Yes.
Make sure your speakers aren't coming through so I can hear them a little bit. There we go. So I think we must be live then. Loud and clear, so we're all good. Well, welcome to everyone. Welcome to the Vegan Mooncat. My name's Mark, obviously. I'll go across the top here. We have Grumpy Vegan Grandad, Paul from Hent Herbivore, and then we have UK Vegan Family and Peace with Reese. So we're all here. Well, we still maybe get Michelle Lowe in a little while, if she can make it. She's been pretty busy today. But we are here today to discuss, is veganism healthy for humans? But I'll let everyone I'll let all the guys on the stream say hello to you guys, and and then we'll go through and see who's in, and and we'll get down to it. Do you want to start, Dan, and say hi to everyone?
Hello, my name is Dan. I'm the Grumpy Vegan Grandad, if you don't know me already. And yes, that's me. I'd just like to quickly say to Reese, what's it like to be surrounded by commoners, mate? Does it feel weird?
It's weird. I feel dirty.
You can have a shower afterwards, Reese. It'll be fine.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah,
it'll be fine. So and you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm Paul, former vegan personal trainer and nutritionist. We're on the Hent Herbivore channel, and I don't know if I need headphones. Like, am I giving you guys?
No, you sound good. Sound good.
Echo and stuff is all good.
No, it's all good. Very professional.
Look at these guys. DM.
UK Vegan Family.
You usually introduce us, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm Adam.
I'm Danny.
Just your regular old vegan dad.
Yeah, here to normalise vegan families and obviously be a voice for the animals as well. It's nice to see you all.
And finally, Reese.
Hello. I'm just here so people have someone to bully. Really?
There's no bullying on this stream, Reese. We've said this before. No bullying whatsoever. Go on, tell them a bit about yourself, Reese, then, apart from, obviously, the jokiness.
Sure, yeah. So I was vegetarian for 15 years before I finally saw the light and went vegan. So that's kind of what I think I bring to the table, that kind of experience. And now I'm pretty much whole food, plant-based, although I did have a takeaway pizza for dinner.
Well, every now and again, people have treats, don't they? So it's fine. So that's the guys. We might get Michelle Lowe on in a bit if she's able to make it. She is a vegan YouTuber and also a psychologist. So let's hope she can make it. But we'll see who's in the chat then, if that's okay with you guys. So we've got Vegmet Cobod. Hello. Ang Harrod. Nice to see you. She's awesome. Cherie Henderson. She's very shifty, but as long as she keeps quiet, we'll all be okay. Ekaterina Maranova, a good friend of mine. She's absolutely amazing. Anti-nonsense. Cherie, you're there again. Vegan Gaze, yes. Vegan Gaze, that's Gaze. She's absolutely amazing. And we've got Muddy Paws. Now I'm vegan. Did I say vegan something? I can't remember. Toby Gosling, he's a great guy. Chris Lee and Tracy Shuttleworth so far. So that's it. Well, Cherie's pinned a comment. She's keen. I've just noticed Reese. Oh God, this stream is clearly rock bottom. GVG, Hent Herbivore, and Reese pass the scotch. No, I'm not having it. I'm having no Reese hate on this stream. He's great. Go check out his new video as well. He's put a lot of effort in that. Like nearly 50 hours or something of editing in there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's astounding. It's astounding, that video. It's really, like. It's a total kaboom. And
he makes me and Grumpy look like absolute morons that can't tell a real dolphin from a robot dolphin. So
you give it away.
His thumbnail gives that away. So that's absolutely fine. So as I said, today we are discussing is veganism healthy for humans? And so that's where we're at. So let's get. Oh, one more thing before we start the discussion, if that's okay with you guys. I am giving away vegan Mooncat stress balls today.
Woo!
So we're giving these little guys away, hand knitted by my lovely wife, not knitted, sorry, crocheted by my lovely wife, Sheree. I'm putting it against my top so you can actually see it against the green screen, or he goes quite ghostly. So she's only willing to make 3 of them, so we're giving 3 of them away. And I couldn't think of an easy way of doing it, but what I've decided on doing is during the stream, if anyone asks a question, and the panel answer it, and one of the panel thinks it was an extremely good question, they can nominate that person for a Mooncat stress ball, and at the end of the stream we'll pick 3 of the nominated people and at random, and there we go. They'll get one of these guys through the post. All done.
Wow. Very cool.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Paul.
Sounds great.
So anyway, I was going to obviously take questions from the people who are in the chat as well, but I just wanted to start off with a couple of questions, if that's okay with you guys, that I did myself. And question 1 is because this is one that I think we get an awful lot, is people going, an omnivorous diet has been the human diet for X amount of time, there's nothing wrong with it. And I just wanted to ask the question, is veganism a vegan diet? Oh, I'll get that out of the way as well. I am fully aware, everybody, that veganism is not a diet. I understand 100% it's animals and it's all about the animals, but it is a major component of somebody going vegan is what they're going to have to eat from then on. And that's why it's definitely worth discussing. So I know it's not a diet. that's that. So is veganism healthier than an omnivorous way of eating? And if yes, why? Does anybody want? Oh, I'll go first then. No, that's rude, isn't it? I shouldn't go first. I've got guests. One of you guys can take it. Danny, did you want to go?
Yeah, well, I'm happy to take it. Yeah, because I know Paul does whole foods plant-based, and I know Reese is doing whole foods plant-based.
And me when I can.
I've always eaten mock meats. Okay, I do eat healthy. However, every single week I've had either burgers, sausages. I love the Iceland chicken strips. I have those with like on sandwiches. I use the mock ham and mock chicken on my sandwiches when I go driving my wagons. And I started off with a cholesterol score of I think it was just short of 6. And bearing in mind, I've been eating this way for 5 years. Last year, I had my cholesterol done for the 3rd time, and it's actually 2.2. So even if you say the mock meats aren't as healthy, those mock meats have helped my cholesterol drop to 2.2.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The mock meats you're eating, do you know if they have coconut oil, or is coconut oil probably something you avoid?
I am now, because of you, Paul, avoiding coconut oil. I used to make protein balls with coconut oil because it can go liquid and then it goes hard, doesn't it?
This is the thing, yeah.
So that's why it's very useful in sort of non-cooking.
It's in so many raw vegan desserts. It's unreal.
Exactly. So since you've said that, I've stayed away, but I didn't really. It's funny, it's. My cholesterol's dropped and it stayed level at 2.2. It went down to 3 and then 2.2. So,
do you know what your LDL is, or just your total?
Me LDL, I've got it somewhere. I might try and fish it out. But me
LDL. I'm interested to hear, but it sounds very healthy, though. I think
it is very healthy.
The conversion rate, but because obviously what we say in the UK, like mainstream medicine, is not the same as what the plant-based doctors would say to avoid. But it's really on the LDL, so I'd be interested to hear. But it sounds very promising, though.
The LDL was within range as well, and it did say at the end, because it gives you a percentage of is it heart attack or something stupid like heart disease? I've got like a 3% chance of heart disease.
Well, the plant-based doctors, they say 70 milligrams of per deciliter or lower LDL, and I did the conversion, and that works out to 1.5 in our money. And they say heart attack proof, or pretty much, almost guaranteed, like coronary heart disease proof. So I'd be interested to, but it sounds very promising. That's really good.
Do you want to tell the people in the chat, and Tracy who's posed the question there, what it is with coconut oil that even though it's a plant food, why it's so unhealthy?
So it's got the long and very long chain triglycerides, which are associated with heart disease. It's the same types of saturated fats that are in, like animal products. There's 3 vegan foods which have them, and it's palm oil and palm kernel oil, coconut oil, and cocoa butter. And actually, you'd be better off, in terms of health, heart health, you'd be better off eating beef fat than coconut oil. It's that bad. It's not as bad as butter. It's the worst one. Okay. So that's one to see. Clever marketers say, oh, it's got medium chain triglycerides. They're healthy. Well, actually, they still raise your risk like somewhat, but not half as much as the long and very long chain triglycerides, which make up 92% of the thing, and just 8% for the medium chain. So that's where they try and fool you.
Mm.
So how do the vegan butters fare in that sort of scenario?
So I would imagine that they're going to be hydrogenated, a lot of them. So it's like they've become, like these horrible fats. It's not something I use, so I can't tell you. I'm not a big expert. But if you look on my channel, if you look for sunflower seed cheese, there's like a spread that Gemma developed, and if you take out the nooch, it's basically like sunflower spread, but it's just made from healthy things, no hydrogen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a good one.
Mm. So I was going to say the UK vegan family, Danny and Adam there. I take it you guys, as the UK vegan family, also believe that veganism is definitely a healthier way of eating than an omnivorous diet. I take it that's the case.
Yeah, I would.
You guys have a child as well who's vegan too, don't you?
Yeah, he certainly is. He's a very proud, loud vegan. I'm someone who's never eaten animals before, and before I went vegan, I had an insulin pump. I was diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy.
Is this as a vegetarian?
As a vegetarian, yeah. I was really, really poorly. I was quite obese. I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, everything you would see. And following a whole food plant-based diet, 12 months after deciding to do that, it's all gone, and I'm no longer on insulin. I'm on no medication, and it's all down to my diet. So for me, yes, absolutely.
That's absolutely amazing. Adam, what's your thoughts? Are you feeling well as a vegan, or are you dying of a protein deficiency and a lack of B12?
No. I find I've since going on a plant-based diet and following the way of the veganism and all that, and
the way of the veganism. It sounds like Star Wars.
The plant-based diet is far much more healthy. I feel more alert. I feel more more energy. Just in whole, just way better. I used to always be in hospital with my asthma. I used to always, I was having like, what's the word?
Gastro issues.
Gastroenteritis a lot. That is just all stopped. It's just
that's fantastic.
Do you know, it reminded me of something. I actually got investigated pre-vegan for indigestion. I used to have indigestion nearly all the time. It was terrible. I was eating Zantac like it was Smarties, and I've not had an issue since. Every now and again when I have pastry, just every now and again, I don't know what it is that's in the pastry on vegan pies and stuff like that, I might get a little bit of indigestion, but I suffered greatly during that period.
I wonder what's in the pastry that particularly causes you that sort of issue. That's a funny one. How about you, and Reese, the all-powerful great Reese? How are you since, and your thoughts on veganism and health? Because obviously I know you went vegan for the animals, and it wasn't particularly for health reasons, as I'm sure there's many people who've done that. But is it also healthy? Are you feeling well, or is it causing you difficulty?
Yeah. I mean, I went sort of vegetarian to vegan and then whole food plant-based vegan, and there was a very clear difference in the way I felt between each of those stages. And now being pretty much whole food plant-based, I feel sort of light on my feet. I feel like I have more energy. Whereas when I was eating cheese every day, that just wasn't the case, No,
I get you. I mean, from my point of view, let me just share this. Share this little thing over here, if I can figure out how to do it. There was me before I was vegan. So, you know, just as anecdotal information, you know, for anyone out there, I used to weigh sort of 34 stone, very, very unwell. You know, very, very ill indeed. Heart diseases, problems with the blood vessels in my legs, you know, heart arrhythmias, pre-diabetic, you know, so many things, sleep apnea with breathing apparatus, so many different things. So, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there who say like, oh no, veganism isn't healthy, but you know, I definitely don't think eating an omnivorous diet, especially to excess, maybe like I was doing, is any better. That's not even me. I don't even know who that guy is there, you know. And you know, it's just sat at the computer there, you know, being like I am, you know. So, you know, obviously, you know, since going vegan and reading all the information about health, etc., you know, it's not just, you know, and listening to plant-based doctors, you know, like Dr. Gregor, and, you know, watching channels like Paul and everyone else, and getting all the good dietary information, I did feel a lot healthy, because I went initially whole foods plant-based, like we were just talking about. But then the last year in lockdown, I've introduced a lot of the foods that Dan was just saying he was eating, like mock meats and different things like that, and they have not suited me at all. You know, not at all. I felt lethargic. I felt I put on some weight when I was actually going the right direction. I've gone the wrong direction over the lockdown, and I know that some of it is inactivity, but you know, but a lot of it is.
I thought you were going to blame me then. I was waiting for that. Sorry, Sean.
No, I was just referring to you saying you like the mock meats. And from my point of view, they just don't suit. And when I'm on a whole foods vegan way of eating, I feel so much better. I was losing the weight. You get healthier, way more energetic, you know, better sleep. So many things that were better about it. So I think veganism can be healthy, 100%. But you know, it depends on which way you do it, in my opinion, which I'm sure we'll come to. Oh, sure. One thing, vegan, you've done an amazing job of recapturing your health and reversing aging, and going the opposite direction now. You know, that's what the aim is. Yeah, sure, Paul.
Before you go on, so just in case people don't know your story, so you were on a ton of different meds. Let them know how many meds you're on nowadays.
Oh, I'm on 0 meds now. I like doing the 0. There we go, 0 meds.
Can we have a round of applause for Mark, because this is one of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard.
Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, all the blood pressure meds, you know, blood thinners, all the other things, all gone now. And though I didn't need a man in a white coat, just needed to eat plants, and that did the job.
Very good.
And I think that really sort of, after we've, you know, everyone's under the same idea that veganism can be healthy, but can eating a vegan diet be unhealthy? Because I think that's a question that a lot of people outside the vegan community, you know, that it was so ingrained with the fact that you need dairy and you know, for calcium and all these other nutrients, you need protein to build muscle, even though I don't think Paul would quite agree with that. And you know all these other things. So people inherently think that a vegan diet is sort of deficient and can't be healthy. Is there any aspects of eating a vegan diet? You know, for me, obviously I don't get along with mock meats and stuff. I'm better with the whole foods. But is there anything inherently sort of dangerous or unhealthy about a vegan way of eating, or a plant-based, whichever way you want to put it? I mean, should we start with Paul this time, and along the way, as we started with Dan last time?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention, but I think I got the gist. So, I mean,
this is it. You're in detention, Paul.
I'm saying hello to everyone. I'm too much of a chatter. I would say, like, there's vegan diets and there's vegan diets, and the word vegan is not very useful when you talk nutrition, because, you know, as Mark was saying earlier, it's an ethical stance. So it tells me what you don't eat as a nutritionist. It doesn't tell me what you are eating. And yeah, say you just ate like loads of coconut oil, you could have worse heart health, the #1 killer of human beings, than an omnivorous eater. And actually, heart disease is the biggest killer even among vegans. So most vegans don't eat healthfully, not at all, from my perspective.
We tend to deny that, no matter what we're eating. Even if we're living off Doritos, pizza, and diet, and like full sugar Coke, a vegan will say that they're still way healthier than an omnivorous eater. And yeah, I just don't think that we're lying to ourselves a little bit. And I know we do it sometimes because we don't want non-vegans to pick on us and and say, oh look, eat meat, you'll be better off, or you see, I told you wouldn't feel healthy cutting out animal products. So we tend to, even if we're eating shocking, we tend to still say that we're feeling better. And maybe you are feeling better, than you were. I'm not saying everyone's lying, but it's definitely not completely the way to eat, is it? Doritos and pizza.
No.
I know they're probably nice on occasion.
But in terms of nutrients, the calcium in dairy is only 30% bioavailable. So people moan about vegan nutrients not being available. Well, actually, leaves are far more bioavailable in calcium than dairy is. And you can get your protein and you can get all the good stuff without the stuff that actually kills you. No one's dying of malnutrition. Everyone's dying of overnutrition, of fat, trans fats, cholesterol. To eat meat for protein is like eating mud because you're after the water. Like, you don't need all the, I won't swear, that comes with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
It's just that simple.
So should we go to Dan next? I think Dan wanted to speak to this.
Yeah.
Even though he's stopped. He's nowhere. He didn't want to listen anymore. He's left the stream and left a cut out of himself.
He's fiddling with the Wi-Fi just to get out of it, isn't he?
Am I right now? Am I back on?
You're sort of on. I might skip to. Oh no, you're on.
Am I on?
No.
Am I back? Right.
No,
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. It's Virgin again. I don't know. There's a thunderstorm coming or something like that. But
you're sort of visible now. You're good to go.
Yeah, but you're not winding me up again, are you?
No, I wasn't. No, it was legit.
We can't hear you, Trick, and I've been going through all
it was legit this time, Dan.
Yeah, but the only way I can see a vegan diet being dangerous is to people with eating disorders. Like, I won't mention any names, but he's popped on and off streams over the past. And, of course, a whole food plant-based diet is the one proven to be an all-you-can-eat diet to help you lose weight. For the simple reason is, get a couple of chicken breasts and a slice of bacon, and you can eat that and it'll fill your stomach up that much, but you can have a kilo of sweet potatoes and you wouldn't get through those in a day, So you could, in actual fact, be malnourished on a whole food plant-based diet if you wanted to.
Yeah, and for anyone in the chat who's thinking that Grumpy's saying we should eat a kilo of sweet potatoes,
do it.
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
They're great, but I wouldn't necessarily do that. Maybe make it a little bit of a broader spectrum of food.
So basically, someone with an eating disorder could have a great big pile of food on the plate, and everybody around them would be unaware that oh look how much they're eating, and they could only be having 200, 300 calories in that meal, and it's like, so that's the only sort of dangerous sort of scenario I can think of. Whereas, there's lots of crap food out there, a lot of crap food. I mean, Beyond Burgers, they just ooze fat. The Richmond sausages, you just put them in the pan and before you know it, it's thick in fat. It's like, it ain't.
Yeah, I suppose we all agree from an ethical standpoint, eating any of these is definitely 100% better from the animals because they're not dying for it.
Definitely.
But
no death.
But we've got to take care of ourselves as well, and maybe eating substitutes that are super unhealthy, like you mentioned, there aren't the best thing for us. What about you, Reese? What's your thoughts on that one? Oh, actually, should we ask Toby first? Toby's just asking a question. He's saying, "Is coconut milk okay?" I think that falls into the same category as coconut oil, roughly, does it?
No, I don't think so.
Not,
does
Paul?
it? No.
I mean, it's not going to be
better.
It's not going to be as bad, but still, you're detaching like the fats from the fiber, which is the problem. So if you kept your serum LDL below like 70 milligrams per deciliter, like maybe you can drink a bit of it and get away with that. But I can't measure my serum LDL, so I don't risk it. Because I think there's plenty of other delicious things to have.
Are we talking coconut milk as in the tins of coconut cream that you put in curries, or are we talking about
the coconut drinking milk? I think he means the coconut milk.
Coconut water is very different.
Right, okay, coconut water I'm thinking of. Maybe
not coconut water, but it's coconut milk, isn't it?
So milk is the water with sort of shredded up coconut flesh as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I think just like I've heard, Paul say in the past, it's not necessarily as unhealthy as some other foods, but it's not as healthy as maybe some other of the plant-based milks, like maybe the soy milk and whatever. So, you can make a bit of a better choice. Soy milk's very high in protein and got lots of different Is it got a lot of B vitamins in? I think, is it? I might have that wrong.
It's one of the more nutritious ones.
It's one of the more nutritious milks. So if you were looking to sort of optimize your plant-based milk for as much health as possible, I think soy would probably be the best way to go. And and if you're like a female, then I believe it's even better for you because it can. Does it block the receptors of estrogen? So if you do eat food with like maybe some estrogenic properties to it, they can't dock into the same receptors because they've been taken up by the soy phytoestrogens, isn't it? So they're not going to mess with your hormonal balance as much, and maybe put you at less risk of certain cancers and such things like that. So it's probably a good thing. I listen to Paul way too much.
Very good.
Well, there we go. So yeah, it's probably the best milk, really, in my opinion, and I think maybe a few others, but. Who are we on?
Yeah. So I think if you're taking both diets, an omnivorous one and a vegan one, but we're talking just 1-for-1 swap. So you're taking the meat sausages, going to the vegan sausages. And if we're true to that, 1-for-1 swaps, then I think on the whole, probably a vegan diet would be more healthy, not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a bit healthier, but it's not really as healthy as it could be.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this question when it's asked is often disingenuous. They're just looking for a way to catch you out. But if you do take the 1-for-1, I think vegan does come out on top.
Yeah. Adam and Danny?
I would say a diet consisting of Bourneville, Oreos and chips isn't going to be very healthy for you.
Nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. Home cooked chips in the Actifry without the oil, they're all right. But yeah, you know what I mean. But I wanted to raise, especially in regards to children, making sure that your children are supplemented, the B12 and the vitamin D, because I think that's quite important for children. And obviously there'd been a study recently about the children in Poland that were supplemented and they were shorter than the omnivore children. So
and less bone density.
The thing
is, there were so many flaws within that study.
Yeah, there was.
They even said it at the end, didn't they, in their conclusion sort of thing.
But I think it's good to highlight that.
Yeah, you preempted question 3 there. You're psychic. What nutrients can't humans get from plants? Are you been peeking? I think you may have. I think you may have been peeking. So, we got a question from Kelly Horrocks.
This is the best question.
Paul may be making a nomination here. Well, just say what I said before. These are vegan Mooncat stress balls, handmade by my wife Cherie. If you want to ask a question in the chat, and one of the panel members decides it's a good question, they can nominate you to be put in a draw in the end for one of the 3 vegan Mooncat squishies that is going to be available.
Hold on a minute, Paul. This lady's been paid by Mr. Hench Herbivore to do this question. You can't hand out.
No, I'm sorry. He still gets his vote. It doesn't matter. And I'll read it out. Anyone who doesn't already have them, get the Hench Herbivore recipe book.
I've got one.
It is very good. Both of them are. They're half price at the moment, I believe.
They are half price. Yeah, link in the description you gave me.
Yeah. Not for long. So get them while they are. I love junk eating sweet food, and I love making chickpea nuggets and yummy desserts made with whole foods. Yeah, they look amazing in Paul's dessert book. I will admit it. It looks so good. I think that. Where has it gone now? Are we back? Yeah. Question 3: what nutrients can't humans get from plants? Because I think this is a big one. There's a lot of people out there, especially certain YouTubers are always talking about bioavailability of nutrients in a vegan diet, and like plant sources of them just aren't as good, and the body can't absorb them or whatever. And then they've obviously all got that. Well, what about your B12 and what about this and what about that? And there's a lot of nutritional a lot of them say there's a lot of nutritional things that you can't actually get on a vegan way of eating, which isn't really true. Obviously, we're talking like normal stuff like B12. it's not just vegans that can be deficient in B12. It's like there's a high percentage of the world that is B12 deficient. And, I think it's a good idea for everyone to sort of supplement that, vegan or not vegan, and the same for vitamin D. Obviously, you obviously can you get vitamin D by going out in the sun, and it's a hormone, isn't it? As far as I'm aware, which the body can make when you're sort of like you get UV rays on you and go out and get a bit of the good old sunshine. But we all stick indoors and we don't go out as much as we should. So supplementing vitamin D, in my opinion, is also I think that everyone should be doing, really. Yeah. So it's obviously, so I don't think. I think they're the main two things, and obviously everyone's always telling you that protein's missing from a vegan diet, which is just insane. So. In my opinion, there's not much that's deficient in a vegan whole food plant-based diet that you can't get via a supplement or some kind of including a certain vegan food in your diet to make sure that it's like iodine. Get it from seaweed or stick it in pill form and swallow that and you're away. But does anyone else want to talk about this and?
Yeah, there is a few nutrients missing, to be fair.
Yeah, okay.
I'll put my hand up. There are a few missing, yeah. Like long and very long chain triglycerides, cholesterol, heme iron, the stuff that gives you heart disease and cancer.
I wanted those as well. Frank Tufano's always telling me how great they are for me.
He's the one with he's got iron overload, isn't he? And
iron overload to eat babies' livers.
Cancer. He laughs about it, but that is one of the best ways of giving yourself cancer. Mental, absolutely mental. And just to speak to vitamin D and B12. So vitamin D you can get from mushrooms that have been left in the sun because their DNA is not so dissimilar from ours. We've actually got more in common with. Mushrooms have more in common with human DNA than they do with plants, in fact.
Oh, okay.
So you can get vitamin D there, so you can get it. And B12 is in the water lentils. What's that called? Duckweed?
Yeah.
In shiitake mushrooms, I think.
Okay, I didn't know about that one. There's a lot. It is in a lot of different foods, but they also have a lot of the B12 analogues which block absorption, and the ratio is very. So most foods are not a good source for B12. There was a new one as well. Oh yeah, the human food bars. They reckon they've sourced it from quinoa sprouts. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That was a new one on me, but yeah, supposedly it is in some plant foods. So it's not that it's not there. Okay. But of course, like the reason that mostly it's not in our diet is because we sterilize everything now because we don't want to get infectious diseases.
Yeah, was it normally created by microbes?
Yeah, it's a waste product from bacteria.
Yeah.
That's right, posh boy, show off. What you got there?
I was going to say we sent Dan some vitamin D3, and I think those are sourced from, is it lichen off tree or something?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
B12. Yeah. That's three. That's three things. That's all a supplement, and I very rarely take them. But this is ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. I saw an advert the other day of Eddie Hall advertising vitamin supplements, and it's like
I completely forgot who Eddie Hall is. Who's Eddie Hall?
He's the British strongman. He's like the
Eddie Hall, of course.
He's like the meat-eating version of Baboonian. You know what I mean? It's like in fact, Baboonian just baboomium him all over the place. But
he had his blood test results, though, didn't he?
That's it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It is. Vegans are less likely to be deficient because we get so much hammer that we're deficient in vitamins. But I turn it around and say, well, what vitamins are you having, Mr. Meat Eater? What are you having? And they're like, I don't supplement nothing, And it's like, well, what are you talking about,
I'll tell you what I always get sent to me is a bit of a copy and paste. But when people tell me I'm deficient, B12, obviously, and then you've got creatine and carnosine, which are both non-essential. The body creates them on its own. Yeah. D3, but D2 is fine. It's just absorbed less, I believe. DHA, and this is one I do think we need to talk about more, DHA, because it's not in foods that people commonly eat, in my opinion. Like flax seeds and chia seeds. I don't know anyone who eats those apart from vegans really who've looked into it.
Well, we.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone here eats those or walnuts, but that's not something we talk about.
I definitely didn't eat them beforehand.
No. And I'd never eaten fish beforehand, so I don't know where I was getting my omega-3, and I certainly wasn't dead, so don't know.
And then you've got heme iron. A lot of people try to tell you we need heme iron because it's more. Help me out. It helps you absorb more iron, right?
It's more bioavailable. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
As far as I'm aware, I believe heme iron is much more difficult for the body to actually cope with than the plant-based.
We can't. So with plant iron, we can block its absorption. With heme iron, you can only block about a fifth of it, and it's in like super physiological doses. It's super toxic. It creates these hydroxyl radicals, which are some of the worst oxygen-free radicals there are, and it raises your risk for heart disease, cancer, and when I used to be a nutritionist and I wrote a plan for, say, a female on a diet on the smallest amount of calories, I'd 3.5x the iron she needed from her plant foods. It's a non-issue. It's a complete non-issue. It's like saying my car can go 1,000 miles an hour, yours can only do 100. The speed limit's 60. It's ridiculous.
And then, sorry, it's just the last one is taurine then, which is another non-essential.
Oh, okay. Taurine. I don't know a lot about taurine, to be honest with you. Can you speak to that a bit, Reese? And
no, I can't.
Is it star sign in it? Is it your star sign, Reese?
I'm
Cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're thinking about that, Tracy Shuttleworth is saying how to manage your friends and families opposing being vegan. How do you manage that? I don't know. All you can do, in my opinion, is if they don't want you to be vegan anymore, I obviously tell them that why you're vegan and it's very important to you, and if they love you and want to support you, then really they even if they're not wanting to go vegan themselves, they should really respect your decision about that. And then you could. It's very difficult with friends and family, so I wouldn't necessarily batter them over the head with veganism and why they should go vegan to the detriment of your family relationships, because family and friends are some of the hardest people to convince that they should be going vegan. And at the end of the day, you just live a good life, an ethical life, try and be as healthy as possible and as good an example to them as possible. And when they see that you're doing well and they're seeing that you're thriving as a vegan, and you don't have to harm animals, and you can drop the odd little bit in here and there, and I think that's the best thing to do with family and friends. When I first went vegan, I absolutely slammed into family and friends, because you see the injustices, and you also see the health benefits, and you just want everyone to recognize these things and be not only ethical but also as healthy as possible. You want to do the best for family and friends, obviously, and everyone else, but it's not always productive just to slam straight into them, to be honest with you, and ruin your relationships. I don't think that's a great idea, personally. I don't know what everyone else thinks about that question, but it's not good.
Well, if my family opposed me, I'd probably just wait till they're asleep and then just no, I'm not going down there. This is a
la. All right. So, by the way, talking, just thinking in my head about the little squishy guys. Paul, did you nominate that question? I
think I'm going to have to, aren't I?
Paul's nominating that one. Who was it? Who said it?
Kelly.
Shuttleworth, was it?
Kelly. Was it Kelly?
Tracy
Shuttleworth. Was it Tracy?
I thought it was Kelly Horrocks.
Yeah, it was Kelly Horrocks.
Yeah, it was Kelly. It was Kelly Horrocks. So
Paul should know he paid her. You know what I
mean? Those books sell themselves, Dan.
Can I just say that me and Gemma love so much when people show us that they're making the food and they got their kids in on it and they're eating the healthy desserts. And it just makes our hearts melt because we think, wow, these kids now are going to be eating something that's good for their heart instead of bad. And it really brings a tear to the eye. It just makes you so happy. So just anyone who's bought the book and posted photos, and thank you so much. It means a hell of a lot to us, actually.
That's the great thing about it as well, isn't it, though, Paul? I think you just putting all the good out in the world, and it's nice to see people doing so well on it. And there's so much misinformation saying that kids can't be can't live healthy as a vegan, and the kids are missing out because they're not getting treats, and like you're ruining the childhoods. And when you see them sitting there tucking into a nice big vegan healthy dessert or something,
and seaweed,
and they're living a good life.
It
just shows that. I mean, that's your responsibility as a parent, to make sure that your kids are as happy and as healthy as possible. And if you've opened your eyes and you're fully aware that living the traditional Western diet is like killing them early and knocking years off their lives, why would you let them carry on with that? Even if you're not talking ethics, which obviously we all are as well.
I've got my dad. Sorry to interrupt.
Of course, no.
You just remind me. You know what I'm like. It'll go out my head. And
say it.
Well, my dad's 85. He's lost his. He's on a colostomy bag. And he's got tubes coming out of his livers. He's not in a good way. His heart's weak and everything. And he's having plant milks at the moment. And today, for Father's Day, I bought him some Richmond sausages, some vegan bacon, some vegan ice cream. What else did I buy him? Oh, and I bought him some medjool dates, some Sainsbury's Best medjool dates today.
They are tasty.
And what you're saying about family, I mean, although we know it's not the healthiest stuff in the world, it's healthier than the alternatives. And it just felt good for me to give him something that I know is not going to kill him, and that felt good. And this is the thing, especially with elderly parents like mine, is like, we're too old to change. Well, no, you're not too old to change, are you? It's never too old to stop wanting to commit such atrocities on animals for the sake of food pleasure. It's not. And also, we know that changes in the body can happen so quickly once you quit all that garbage, especially the dairy, which messes with your hormones and.
I've got my mum. She was on. What was she on? She was on one of the nut milks. I think it was almond milk. I can't remember, or it was oat milk, maybe. I can't remember. And we were discussing things today, and she switched that out for soy milk. So she's choosing a good plant milk there. And she's given up a lot of the animal products and stuff. She's not 100%, but it does feel good to know that you've influenced a family member that you care about and love and want to live as long as possible into something maybe that will not only save animal lives, but could hopefully make them have more of a longer healthy life themselves.
They always seem to wait until something's gone drastically wrong before they sort of say, "Oh, hold on a minute, Danny, come here. What was he saying before about this thing?" Now it's always.
I can't say anything bad about that, though, Dan. It took me getting told by the doctor I got 6 months to live to. To open my eyes.
Prime example, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But isn't it a shame that some people wait until they start thinking about their own mortality?
Yeah.
Or wait until something goes wrong before they make that decision to do something positive.
I mean, I think inherently humans can be a little bit. I don't know what the word is. Maybe selfish, and because they don't think that an omnivorous diet is particularly unhealthy. They think it's just the way we have to eat. For them to actually have to make a change from something that they believe to be okay, to something that's so different. It's just such a struggle, especially ingrained in them.
Especially my age now, Mark, because. I now know 1, 2, 3. Someone has just been in hospital and had colon cancer sorted out. I know 7 people now who've either had strokes, heart attacks, and they're all either my age or younger. And it's like, I don't want to go, ha ha, I told you so, you should have listened to me. I can't do that, unfortunately. I can't do that. And if you went online and did that, it wouldn't go down well. You'd just be
I get it.
Or whatever. But it's just so frustrating to see this happening when it doesn't have to.
No,
that's
exactly.
the frustrating thing about all this.
Lolly, my mum recently went plant-based for health reasons in her 60s and is now starting to see things from an ethical perspective too. It's great to see. Yeah, that's fantastic, because I think that's so good. I'm sticking you on the list. You're on the list because your mum's done so well there. That's amazing. I think another question I get an awful lot, and I don't know if you guys have had it on social media, etc. Is a vegan diet is far too expensive, and it's far too difficult. And the omnivorous way of eating is just cheaper and easier, to be honest. I mean, I don't think I've spent hardly anything as a percentage wise. Everything's been so much cheaper since we've gone vegan. If you're not buying eggs, you're not buying big lumps of meat. I'm not even talking about the health impact or the animals here, but just expense, physical money. It's been cheaper for us because we tend to stick to the whole plant foods, and I don't know how you guys. I know how I think how most of you eat, but I think it's like Paul always says, like lentils and chickpeas and beans and rice and fruits and stuff. They're some of the cheapest foods on the planet. And it's the healthiest foods on the planet, so why wouldn't you eat them? Have you had this a lot on yours, Paul? Because obviously you do a lot of stuff about the healthy whole foods vegan diet. Do you get a lot of people saying it's just too expensive?
Yeah, a hell of a lot. And like you said, like it's the cheapest food. Like the legumes, like the soybeans, like the grains. This is what the animals are eating their whole lives, and they're these big old cattle. It takes so many more calories, so much more protein input to get like a fraction of the output. So which is going to be more expensive? Exactly. Not considering all the other things you have to do to farm. It's just so ass backward. I can't believe people are that stupid.
Does anyone else want to speak to that and talk about if it's expensive to be to eat vegan or is it cheaper or not much different?
Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, I got you. Carry on. Sorry, you go on.
Before we went vegan, we were really struggling financially, and we were a bit like, "Oh, is this going to work?" We'd heard, "Oh, it's expensive," especially with Jack and with the family. And the first thing we noticed was actually how much money we were saving. I used to get through a lot of eggs every 2 weeks. I'd get through like a box of 15. I'd have to constantly replace them. I'd get through blocks of cheese. I was having quite a lot every other day. And that's where my money used to go. And obviously you used to eat a lot of processed foods and takeaways, and that cost a fortune. And then going plant-based, and we are majority whole foods, what's cheaper than a tin of chickpeas and rice? And make your own snacks. It's so much cheaper.
And I think that's it. On a sort of a price to nutrition ratio, I mean, I'm sure a cup of lentils has got so much nutrition in, for its cost compared to like a steak. I haven't got the facts and figures in front of me, but it's definitely not, in my opinion, an expensive way to live. Reese, have you? I see Grumpy's a bit busy. Reese, have you spent more money since you've been going vegan, or have you found it cheaper or not much different?
No, it is cheaper, but I think when people are saying this, they're not even considering whole foods. They're considering swapping
meat and stuff.
Mock meats, mock cheese. Until recently, milk alternatives were more expensive. I'm pretty sure they're about the same price now.
Yeah,
and I think mock meats now, I think they're like slightly more expensive. Although I have seen like I haven't been in the UK for a while now. I remember seeing 6 meat-free burgers in Asda for £1.25, and I don't think you can buy meat for cheaper than that. But yeah, there's still this idea, at least, that mock meats and mock cheese are more expensive.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with you. If you're eating the whole foods, then it's some of the cheapest foods on the planet, and it's the healthiest way to be as well. But that involves, I suppose, a lot of people having to get off the backsides and revert to some kind of cooking. And a lot of people don't make time for cooking, which is mainly the problem. They don't own their own health. They don't own what they're eating. They want to farm it out to somebody to process something for them so they can shove it in as quickly as possible and not have to deal with it. But a lot of people said that to me initially. It's like when I was cooking, I cook a lot of food, and I was cooking different dishes, and they were going, "Where do you find the time to be cooking all the time?" And I said, I stopped sitting on my arse every night for 5 hours watching Netflix, and I used that time to go to the gym and actually cook some recipes and take ownership of what's shoving in my mouth, and not just expect somebody else to do it for me, because no one else is going to consider your health particularly. It's only you, isn't it? were you looking at something there, Dan? Did you find something?
Yeah, I was just looking at I keep going on about these Iceland chicken strips, but they really are so convenient. Throw it in the frying pan, 7 minutes, they're done. Put it on a sandwich, put it in a salad, put it in a curry. You know, it's instant food. But I was looking at the prices. This is why I was shaking my head at you, Reese. You can get no meat plant-based chicken strips, 320 grams for I think it's about £2.20 at Iceland. A £500 bag of chicken, diced up chicken breast, body parts, is £3. So it's pretty much evening out. It's not much difference.
Yeah, you're getting more of a comparable, isn't it?
And you can actually get plant-based milk at Aldi now for 46p. So, you know, it's just ridiculously cheap, and it's demand that's driving the prices down. And this is why I argue against people who say we should boycott this, we should boycott that. The moment we start boycotting these companies who are bringing out these plant-based products, even though they are committing loads of abhorrent practices in the background, they are driving the prices down, which is making it more convenient, because the biggest argument I get off people when I talk to them face to face is the inconvenience of it. I don't know where to start. And now you can basically walk into a supermarket, there's a big V on everything, there's no problem finding vegan food.
They have made it extremely difficult. Extremely easy now
it's so easy. It's so easy now. And that for me is a godsend, because that is another excuse. Take that one's gone out the box. Protein, that one's out. B12 bullshit, that's gone now. You know, all these boxes are being ticked off now, and there's no argument. You know.
Right, I was going to say, UK Vegan Family. Do you want to take this comment that's on the screen from Trash Carcass? Do you want to read that out?
There's a part 2.
There's a part 2 to it, I believe.
Is there? Malzo, what's this? Malzo.
Why are Malzones so concerned with puritanical about taking supplements? Food is technically a supplement, and that was like the first part. I'll put the second bit up, Cherie. And the vitamin and supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry that is primarily not vegan. This means that we have been they've been making money off non-vegans for decades.
Well, I think in regards to like kids, you know, sometimes our son doesn't want to eat food. You know, all children can be really fussy. And actually, the NHS recommends that all children should be supplementing, not just vegans. So sometimes for children, it's just safer to get a supplement into them. But I think for like me, I'm still really, you know, I don't always take my supplements, because when I was vegetarian, I was like, I don't need to take supplements. You know, I don't need to do that. But as a vegan, I'm like, well, I do need to take them sometimes. And obviously you take yours as well. So I think it's down to the individual, really. But I think you need to know, you know, there's certain things that you should be eating, and obviously do a bit of research and make sure you're getting your iodine and your selenium and all the other things you need to get.
Does it matter who you are? Obviously, what Paul, you sometimes talk about a book which is a plant-based health, sort of like healthy sort of thing, and it recommends certain amounts of different things for different ages and groups. What's that book?
Yeah, Becoming Vegan by Vassato and Molina. Sorry, David and Molina. And also a very similar chart is in me and Gemma's new Ultimate Guide to Plant-Based Nutrition, which will be out soon.
Is that the official title now?
I think so. Yeah, I think
that's the one I voted. Did I vote for that one? I can't remember which one I voted for. That I voted for the first one on the list, whichever one that was. But yeah, I mean, because I suppose depending on who you are, I mean, we all obviously need to eat the healthy foods, but depending on who you are, like if you're, I don't know, a child or a female, you know, and you're obviously menstruating, etc., you might need more iron in your diet and different things. So, I mean, I think that's it, just taking ownership of your own health and actually looking into what you need, and then looking for the sources of what you need. I mean, it's probably worth. I mean, I think I don't know if we've all used this at some point, and I know Paul has. I think I got the idea from him when I first went vegan. Is if somebody's vegan and they're concerned about are they getting all their nutrients, is it worth maybe using an app like Chronometer at the, you know, just to keep a track of everything to make sure you're getting all the nutrients that you're getting from and seeing any sort of gaps that you may have, so you can sort of tailor what you're eating to make sure you're being as healthy as possible. Really, I think that's the whole thing. It's ownership and tracking. And I mean that could be said for an omnivorous diet really as well. You know, you don't just have to be careful and monitor stuff on a vegan diet. You know, you should really take control and check what you're eating, no matter what you're eating, really.
Yeah, but I mean, surely the thing is, if you eat a broad spectrum of foods, you're going to cover it all anyway. There's only a B12 that is an issue, really, when you think about it.
I think just to put people's minds at rest, and especially they're going vegan initially, and they're not sure where they would get a specific or the quantity that of maybe iron that comes from green leafy vegetables, and they're not sure about, they just got a worry about them. Then they can tap it all in there, and they can see where they're at, and and then they can adjust it with an informed information to make sure that that puts their minds at rest, and they're not likely to give up because they think that they get like a stomach upset or like they bump the toe and think that it must be because they're vegan deficient in something. And their toe wouldn't have throbbed as long if they were an omnivorous eater. It's just so crazy. I've skipped a few questions because obviously we've been talking a while and I didn't want to sort of run out of time. We had, if giving up animal products is so healthy, why don't sort of like the governments, etc., promote that as the recommended sort of lifestyle to sort of to improve the nation's health and to make sure that promote it in schools, promote it all over the show, and sort of reduce the NHS bill, get rid of all the diabetes, get rid of heart conditions? Or why aren't they doing this? Why don't they just do that to make sure we're all as healthy as possible? I know Dan and Adam both put their hands up, so whichever one wants to go first, feel free.
Well, I think the whole problem with this is I think there's just so much money tied up in the system that we've got now, and to sort of rejig money around everywhere would just be too much hassle for the government to do.
But also as health professionals, I didn't know when I went into my training that dairy was bad for you, and that's why I see so many people. And they fund each other as well. Poorly.
You got the dairy.
We didn't know that, so a lot of our colleagues don't know that still. And I think I just don't.
It's just the work that we do. It's not prevention. It's just treatment.
It's not. It's treatment.
It's just
and
treatment.
That's how the health system
is. And that is basically what the NHS is there for.
And
it's not for a prevention. It's there's no preventional stuff there. It's just treatment. We'll treat you when you're ill.
And the same in schools. From what I know, there has to be every day, 5 days a week, there has to be dairy on the menu, and at least 3 times a week there has to be animal flesh. That's what the schools are pushing. This is the issue. Until this breaks, and there are things happening like animal rebellion are going into the schools, and like we've done stuff with the schools and other things, it's got to keep going. It's got to keep ticking away.
I completely agree. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I think I've had a lot of people speaking to me over the times that I've been vegan who asked that specific question: if it was so good for you and it was so required, why is the government letting everyone like kill themselves with all this other stuff and not making any? But the way I would say, the governments don't always do the right thing, do they? It's always like a minority group that sort of realizes there's something wrong in the world, like if that's an injustice or something else, and then they push it, and eventually the governments catch up when there's enough public pressure that they actually have to do something about it. They're not necessarily always. They have the spiel, obviously. They always say. Samuel is saying the drug industry can't survive if everyone is healthy. No, and the other thing is as well, they sell, is it like 80% of their antibiotics, etc., all go to the animal agriculture industry. So if everyone stops eating sort of animals, then obviously they're going to lose a lot of money just from the and they supplement B12 to animals as well, don't they? As far as I'm aware, in a lot of cases. So there's a lot of investment in that, and it's just not good. Adam?
And to be fair, I'm not trying to like back them up or anything, but at the moment, the percentage of vegans compared to omnivorous eaters is still quite low. So if all of a sudden the government went ban that, there's going to be a whole big percentage of people within the UK.
I don't necessarily think that banning it at this particular time, even though we'd all like it, would be a good. I know. But it's why aren't they pushing it more? I think.
Canada stopped recommending dairy.
But it did.
I don't know what it would do for votes, though.
Yeah.
No, well, it is still included as a source of calcium in their recommended tables and things, but it's not recommended as a food group anymore. So things are changing, you know.
Yeah, you can't go onto property now in Canada and expose fucking atrocities going on.
There are big problems
because they brought a new law in to stop that, haven't they? So Canada are like giving you with one hand and taking with the other. You know?
I'm not saying they're good in every way, but that specific action.
But I want to know why the government didn't ban smoking. Now this is the question you've got to ask yourself: why have we not banned smoking? Because they make so much money off it, and this goes again to the doctors only prescribing medicines which pay the big pharmaceutical companies money every time they give a prescription out. If all the doctors were given full nutritional training, they would be telling everybody to go vegan. Nobody would get sick anymore. I mean, I'll tell you how ridiculous it is. Doctors say if you get your cholesterol below 5, that's the good target, because they base it on a sick population. They don't tell you to get it below 3, where it'll stop atherosclerosis and heart disease and strokes. No, they say get it down below 5 and you'll be fine, because it's a sick population. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So Big Pharma are one of the richest businesses in the world, along with the animal agricultural industry. So they work hand in hand together. You know, it's all very, very corrupt, and it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I call it the only conspiracy theory that is actually provable true.
Yeah, it is, definitely. I mean, Bo's asking there, or stating, it's a big issue that we fund healthcare for everyone and subsidise animal ag. Those are 2 huge expenses in one big vicious cycle. Yeah, completely agree. I mean, there was this next question I was going to ask, unless anyone wants to carry on. Does anyone want to say?
I just want to say one more thing on that. Is why did they ban cannabis? Why did they not ban cigarettes, but they banned cannabis? They've banned cannabis because it's healing properties. And, you know...
It is a strange one.
Isn't it strange that something that can heal, and people are actually campaigning for the children who've got epilepsy to have cannabis treatment to stop the epilepsy, are having to go through the courts just to get a natural growing plant that will cure the kids? What?
Go on then. I've got Toby asking. I'll ask Paul first. Tofu or tempeh?
Tempeh.
Tempeh. Oh, I'm gonna go tofu, just because I find it more flexible in for different kinds of dishes.
I thought we were just talking nutritionally.
No. I agree with you on nutritional tempeh.
I didn't even consider nutrition in this nutrition discussion.
No, I just wanted what was my favourite then.
Yeah, I was like, what's tastier?
Nice.
Tastier. But what about you guys? Should we answer that question? Taste-wise, we'll go taste-wise, but then we could get Paul or somebody else to talk about the nutritional differences between the two, if any.
I feel honoured that Toby has used our question. Like, that's our question, Toby. I feel honoured.
Are you guys tempeh? Is it?
I'm tofu.
I eat way too much tempeh. Like, when I cook it, it may as well just cook it for me, because I will just keep eating it until it's gone. I love the stuff. I'm addicted. I'm a tempeh addict.
Not to open a can of worms with Reese, because I don't want to bring up another nooch incident like we've had in the past with him. But tofu or tempeh taste-wise, Reese, taste-wise.
I've had tempeh a couple of times, and it just doesn't do it for me. It's absolutely minging.
I knew it was going to be a nooch thing. I'm sorry,
I'm a tofu
Reese.
boy.
Oh, well, he likes one of them. We're good. And what about you, Dan?
You know that I won't ever have tempeh again in my life, because I fractured my eye socket because I had tempeh in Liverpool. I was unconscious in a loading bay for 30 minutes.
The time when I damaged my eye as well.
What do you mean?
I came on your stream when you had the bruised eye, and I'd done myself like the bruised eye and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about tempeh. Why I can't eat tempeh, I do not know. It does not agree with me. Yeah. But I can eat. Has anyone had natto? I love natto, and that's pretty much fermented soybeans. It's Chinese. It's stringy. It's fermented. It goes stringy. And I love tofu. I'll munch tofu all day long.
So, Paul, we always get this sort of question coming up, especially when the UK vegan family are around. But nutritionally wise, is there a big difference between the two?
Yeah, massive. So with tofu, I think you lost pretty much all the fibre, and then like half the minerals, probably something like that.
Oh, that much.
So, on the scale of things, like, it's all right. You know, it's not had anything bad added. Typically, you can get cutlets and things with oils and stuff, but it's all right, but not as healthy as the whole food. Whereas although like tempeh technically isn't like it is processed, but it's two whole foods like glued together. You know, it's fermented soybeans, so it's super absorbable, and it's mycelium, which is the root of mushrooms, binding it. Super healthy, super digestible, like amazing. It's a bit of an acquired taste, isn't it? I think is the trouble. It took me a few goes, but if you flavor it well, like tempeh bacon,
delicious. Or stick it in a curry. You know, I like sticking it in a curry.
Dry.
Yeah, that's
dry.
cool. Oh no, not dry.
Nah, put it in the oven, eat it.
I actually did want to ask this question here, and I wanted to start with Paul, just because of the great responses that he does to some of these particular people. Why do we have ex-vegans? If being vegan is so good for human health and makes you feel so much better, why do we have these guys switching back, especially some of maybe more of the more famous individuals that broadcast how awful veganism is for you, and they're so glad to be going back to eat fish and eggs because they basically got wet dreams for the first time in years. Their life is so much better. Every disease they've ever had is cured because they licked some fish. They have specific brain types, which mean that unless they eat fish, then they're eating for their brain basically, and all these other reasons why veganism just did not work. I mean, should we start with you, Paul? Why do you think we have ex-vegans?
Well, sadly, some people are moronic that they can't get the healthiest diet in the world to work for them. I think that's number one. And I think number two is like they're not got as many followers as they want. So it's so hard to get ahead. But to grow a vegan channel now, if you're new, it's super hard. But if you start like a carnivore channel, or if suddenly you're a hunter or whatever, you potentially, you should get like a massive following because people want to see the car wreck, or they want to see the controversy, or there's some people do want to eat just dead animals, or raw dead animals. And there's not many YouTubers stupid enough to put that content out there. So do something stupid like that. But if you eat the healthy diet, you promote the healthy thing, you're not going to get like the following. And the other thing is, how many healthy eating vegans do you know? I can probably on one hand name, or maybe a couple of hands. Well, in real life, like on the internet, obviously I know hundreds, but not many people eat a healthy enough diet, and they all, they fail to take the B12, like they didn't supplement the DHA or whatever. Like it's, you think sometimes as well,
it's because they don't actually follow just a whole foods balanced sort of vegan way of eating. I've not seen
many balanced whole foods vegans who failed,
and then they all seem to end up on a fringe diet of some description, where they juice cleanse for 3 years, and then they drink their piss because they need the recycled amino acids.
Tim Sheaf just ate fruit for ages. He didn't take B12 supplements and things, and then he'd ate nothing for like months. And then he wonders why he got sick.
He lost all his muscle and etc. because he and sun gazed and expected him to.
A lot of these YouTubers had gut issues. They got diagnosed with SIBO. He got diagnosed with something from Goji Man, who was going to help him, but he turned his nose up and just wanted an excuse to eat animals.
And SIBO is not related to being vegan in any way, is it? That's
no.
That's anyone can get it. You got that yourself, didn't you? Which you managed to get rid of.
It's super easy to get rid of. And I think where I went wrong, what I now understand is it can be that you're eating so much volume and so regularly, and being a bodybuilder and trying to eat 6,000 calories from whole plant foods. I was eating a lot of volume. I was eating very, very regularly, and I think perhaps that's where I went wrong. So now I eat 3 times a day with 4 hours gap in between, and a good 12, 13-hour gap where I'm not eating anything, and I feel super well.
Yeah, definitely. Lolly saying if they start to eat plant-based as part of a trend, then they'll likely follow the next dietary trend that if they don't make an ethical connection. I think that's definitely it. I mean, I've noticed a lot of these larger channels that do end up not going ex-vegan. They never particularly in it for animals. It's just for personal sort of gain. I have no particular issues with people trying to make a living or trying to grow a platform or do anything. Yeah, it's much easier to change a diet. It's much more harder to change an ethical stance that you truly believe in. I think that makes a massive difference.
I've got an opinion on that. I mean, I've still got your words ringing through my head about wet dreams and licking fish. It's just like,
yeah, I was going to say, is that Tim Sheaf?
Don't ever say that in the same sentence again.
Tim Sheaf said that he wasn't able to get an erection, and he was in a terrible mess or whatever, didn't he? And the first day, is it fish or a piece of salmon, or was it an egg? I can't remember now. And like he basically had to change his sheets the following morning because of it. So it's really good for that reason. And then you've got Miley Cyrus, who he had to eat fish because she has a brain type which requires it. Obviously because you can't get omega-3 or anything else from any other source, according to her. So it's just misinformation sometimes to pump out. And that's the other thing I don't like is once they've actually decided no longer to be vegan, they can't just go into the night and do it quietly. They always have to make a big deal of it. They always that it's out there. They've been saying for years that they're there for the animals, and suddenly because they don't want to do it anymore, or it's not making them enough money, animals are just right under the bus. They're reversing the bus back over the animals. They're doing whatever they want to do. And they're also, I've always found it amazing that they can go years and years and years telling their viewers, we're talking obviously, like YouTubers here, but there are going to be some non-YouTubers, etc., that are ex-vegans. I'm not delusional, but we're talking about the ones in the limelight here.
Yeah. The influence. This is what I mean. And if I wanted to make some money on YouTube now, right? What I'd do is do what I've done now, build up an audience as a vegan, and they're very, very happy, trustworthy people, vegans, and they'll all come on and they'll support you, and we'll all become a big family. And then I'd stop being vegan, and I'd start a channel on why I'm an ex-vegan, and that's how to make a shitload of money, because we've seen vegan deterioration do it. She's got followers, and all she does is go on and put ridiculous pictures up and talk over them in a silly accent with a Botox face, and that doesn't move. It's like she's the complete opposite to me. She's just ridiculous, But can you also put that picture up I've shared? That's natto, just so people know what natto is, because I don't think many people. You can get it from Chinese supermarkets,
okay.
And that's natto. It's fermented beans, and you buy them. Okay. You get a little pot of mustard with it, and I don't know what the nutrients in it. I'll have to have a look at what's.
Oh, okay. Do you know much about natto, Paul?
Yeah, the main thing is vitamin K2. It's like the only vegan source of natural K2, which some people say you need, and it's not available in a vegan diet. But various organs of our bodies have bacteria that convert K1 into K2, and if you're eating any amount of healthy,
And what does K2 do for us? Out of curiosity.
Don't really know. I don't really worry about it. I just know that I get.
I know. You get what you need, don't you? So
it's to do with blood clotting and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure myself because it's not.
We get tons of K1 if you're eating a half healthy diet, and we turn.
I think that's it. I think for vegans eating a mostly sort of healthy diet, I don't think vitamin K2 is a very nutrient of concern for us. So maybe we don't really bother looking into it really because it's not really an issue, is it, for us? I know it's time's ticking along. Is anyone that want to nominate anyone for the three?
I'll nominate Trash Carcass because it's a birthday soon. So
we've got a Trash Carcass nomination. She's in the pot for it. Who have we got so far, Sheree?
We've got Trash Carcass. Kelly
Horrocks.
Lolly V. And then I've put in Toby Gosling.
Oh, Sheree's put Toby and Tracy Shuttleworth in there as well. So
executive decisions.
Oh, executive decisions, is it? Oh, there we go. So I understand time's ticking away, and we've all got places to be, and including the people watching. So I just wanted to, unless obviously you guys can say whatever you want, you don't have to be directed by me. But I just wanted to ask this question: is promoting the health aspects of veganism good for veganism, or do you think it dilutes the true message that we should not be harming animals? So I don't know whichever person wants to speak to that, if they do at all. But
I think it's a very divisive part of veganism. Definitely, not everyone's going to agree. But I know a lot of vegans who started because of health, including at least 2 of you here. 3. There we go. 4. And and you're all ethical vegans too now. So I think it's a way in, and honestly, I don't think the animals care why you stop eating them. They just care that you have stopped eating them. You know what I mean?
That is true.
I wish everybody cared about the animals, but they don't. Let's just try to get them any way we can.
My view is
said before, isn't it, Grumpy? You were saying, you were saying before, obviously, that sometimes it takes a health crisis or some event to snap you into it.
But the way I see it, right, if it was my children in that slaughterhouse or in that farm, right, I'd say anything. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll come up with any old bullshit to try and get anybody vegan. I don't care. I just want you to go vegan. I can say I went vegan, and after 3 weeks, I could jump over a house. I was faster than a speeding bullet. I could fly through the air. You know what I mean? It's like I don't care. Obviously, you've got to be honest with people, definitely. But you've got to fight. You've got to find out what is hitting the sort of the markers with people. If it looks as though they don't give a fuck about animals, and there's a lot of people out there who do not care about animals. They not care. They're not bothered, right? If you talk about the environmental, they're the people who don't buy straws anymore because they think that's the main cause of plastic pollution in the oceans. Or if you hit the health side of things, they're not aware that they're actually putting themselves at risk of cancer or heart disease or stroke or Alzheimer's. So I think anyway, and I've always said all roads lead to ethical veganism, no matter which way you come in at. You'll hit that crossroads and you'll go straight towards the ethical side of it. So I don't care. I just, any way to get anybody vegan, think of it as trying to get your kids out of a concentration camp. You'll say anything. Just get them to do it. But honesty is always the good policy.
All right, I 100% agree. Paul, have you got a thought on that one?
That these 2 guys haven't already said. I think that's spot on.
Yeah, because I think with your channel and your activism, obviously you are an ethical vegan, and I think that anyone who's watched anything that you've ever done knows 100% that you're there for the animals. But you do a lot of great work in speaking about human health. Which
I use Paul all the time. Because he busts the protein myth, he busts the athlete myth. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I use Paul all the time. I will throw I've used his videos so many times for argument's sake. Well, look at this fucking guy here. Look at him. What are you talking about, fool? Skinny ass. What are you talking about? Look at this fella here. Yeah,
I think that's it, and I think there's nothing wrong with vegans caring about human health, because we're animals as well, and I think that's the great thing about veganism. Not only can you be there for the animals and make sure that they're not suffering, you can also lead a happy, healthy, long life yourself, and all it requires is to have a little bit of a think, about yourself and others. And go for a plant-based diet, really. UK Vegan Family, you guys got something you want to say about that one?
Always animals first. The environment and the health is a bonus. And if you are vegan and you love running, you make a damn bloody good runner as well.
I think that's it. I mean, a lot of you guys here, it's like you've got Paul, who obviously does a lot of physique work, and you as well as nutrition. You've got you guys who do a lot of running. I mean, I know Grumpy as well. He takes care of his health, and when he's doing anything along that, you put that on social media. And so I think it's it. Hey, there's the guns. Obviously I've had a lot of a backslide with my health because of eating more of a junk food vegan diet the last year. But, I try to show that, you can be at death's door and you can still pull it back, and Reese, he's just like he's like a spring, his look is just like glowing with it all, he's doing really well. So I think, leading by good example is a really good way of, of drawing people in anyway. It's great stuff.
Roger Yates says there are health issues may be a gateway, but it can't stop there. I'd like to answer that.
Yeah, sure.
Because bloody Yates again.
We love Roger.
It's 8:48 p.m. If you've got it, yeah, that's the one. But most people who start oppressing other animals are, again, health vegans. Now, I'm not saying I use only health to people. I use that as sort of a reason to, and I always bring it back to the animals no matter what. Even if I think they are just psychopaths and they don't care about animals, I always bring it back to the animals, but I always do throw in health things as well, and just put it in there, and say the person's overweight. I will mention whole food plant-based diet, and you know, so yeah, I'm not saying that I only go in with just the health. Never that. Always the animals. But
I don't think anyone on this stream, you know, even though we probably all do speak to health at some point, you know, during advocacy, I don't think anyone on this stream stops them. We're all aware that, you know, at the end of the day, animals are you know, super important, obviously, and we need to stop eating them. But it is a great way of getting through to people, you know, and it's what works. You know, some people, you might show them a video of a slaughterhouse and they might make a connection straight away and stop eating animals. Some people won't care, but you tell them, you know, they can live an extra 10, 20 years a healthy life by eating this kind of food. That might be enough for them. So different things work for different people. Yeah, you know, and at the end of the day, once you're in that vegan world, and you're eating, you're not eating animal products anymore, it's so much easier then, you know, mentally to look at the ethical side of it and go and watch Dominion or Earthlings or something else, or look at pictures that somebody's put on Facebook or whatever, because you're no longer in that cycle of cruelty. So you don't feel the need to avoid it and put the blinkers on and run away, you know, and I think we can all agree. I mean, as people said on the stream, it's easy to change a dietary preference, and it's harder to change an ethical stance. So I would recommend anyone out there who is going vegan, plant-based, to look into the ethical side when they feel like they can, and it doesn't do any harm. It bolsters your resolve to stay vegan, not only for your own health but for the health of the animals and the planet. So it's definitely worth looking into that at some point, and it'll keep you on the right track.
Mark, can I just say there, if anybody there is wanting to have some support going vegan, then check out the Vegan Switch, which is a free mentorship program where you can have a one-to-one mentor who will support you, that it mainly focuses on the ethical side of veganism as well.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone who's not sure about how to be healthy on a vegan diet, highly recommend checking out Paul's channel and his new course, which will be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing to teach it. Do you want to say a bit about that, Paul, so people get a gist of what that is? So
yeah. So me and Gemma spent the last few months shooting loads of videos. It's all my knowledge on nutrition, how to make a vegan diet work. It's all Gemma's knowledge on how to, oh God, good job there wasn't any water in there. How to action it, how to cook, like where to source things, what types of appliances. It's 14 videos. It's a big PDF, like tons of nutrition charts, nutrient needs by age, stage of life, shopping lists, just all different guides, links to. It's basically everything that me and Gemma have learned over the last 20 years between us, all in one concise place. It's nothing we haven't said before in a video, but it's just very concise.
It's all in one place, so you can just get that and set yourself on the right track, really. So I think
we'll have that out it'll be at least a couple of weeks' time, maybe a little longer. But,
awesome. So anyone needing that, to just go check that out when it's available. It'll be really good. Does anybody have anything they want to? No, it's fine. Does anyone have anything they want to say to? Before we do that, before we sign out, should we check who gets the things?
Yeah.
So I'll go for this one first.
We need a drum roll.
Hey, there we go. Lolly.
Whee!
Lolly.
One of these little guys will be on his way. Contact me on Instagram would probably be the best way. Message me on there at the Vegan Mooncat to say hi and give your address, etc., where you'd like it sending, and we'll get that sent out. We have Tracy Shuttleworth.
What a great Lancashire name that is. That's one of the best Lancashire names I've ever heard. Tracy Shuttleworth. She's bloody great.
That's absolutely great. So, and just to avoid any kind of cheating, I've got 3 left. Reese, you pick one.
Oh, you can't hear you.
Reese, pick one.
Can't hear you.
I'll have the one on the right, please, Mac.
Is that this one or this one?
You can hear me, right? Stage right.
This one?
No.
That's my right. You're right.
That's the one, mate.
We're going for that one then. So there we go. Anyone who isn't Kelly Horror, it's blame Reese.
Fix.
I'm kidding. He picked a good one there. He picked a good one. So yeah, I think. Does anybody want to say anything as a parting message to our guest, Dan?
Yeah, I would like to say to everybody out there, now is the time to really get out there, people. We've had this virus. I'm sorry I mentioned it. I won't give the name of it, but we've had this. People are changing the ways now automatically. People are looking at social media more and more. Now is the time to get active if you're not active. If you're vegan, you must be active. Even if it is just putting stickers up, even if it is just putting messages on social media, time is now. If we can get this percentage of vegans up in the UK, we will have influence on the government. We can change things around. We can stop giving the dirty farmers and the dirty fishermen our tax money to do the disgusting deeds that they do.
Yeah, we definitely need to start capitalising on the current momentum, like you say, and keep it rolling. Paul?
Sorry, I didn't have anything prepared.
I know you have to follow that.
Basically, a lot of people get so down, don't they? And I understand that. And we keep looking at the footage and seeing the problem. Don't focus on the problems. Focus on the solution. Be the change you want to see. Like Dan says, get out there. You can do something. Like, not everyone's, good face-to-face or wants to be confrontational, but you can do recipes. You can get people to try stuff. You can wear T-shirts. You can post links. Like, there's something you can do. And yeah, let's do it. Let's make a bloody change.
Definitely good words. Adam and Danny?
Good words.
Do you want to say something first?
Yeah, you go for it.
Right. So, I don't know. I've got to know how to put it. I was going to say...
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I was going to say... there was a few things I wanted to mention, which I didn't have time to mention earlier. But I was going to say, I think Toby Gosling's put in there, said something like... what would I request to my doctors if I want to get my blood test? Well, I think it's UNEs and full blood count.
Well, you have a right as a patient
to go and request whatever you want.
It's called a patient MOT. You can ask for a patient MOT.
Or your patient MOT.
And say I'm plant-based. I want to see my bloods.
Yes.
So just get on the plant-based diet. Go and do some research into veganism and like watch Dominion and things and see the absolute awful ways that these people treat these animals. I would say that it's it's like the cheapest diet to go on. Like, when you say rice, beans and legumes, it doesn't sound, they're both the same thing. It doesn't sound much to say, like, rice, beans, it doesn't sound that great. But I tell you what, there's some amazing recipes out there. Like I've never tried a Thai green curry that tasted so great, and it was vegan. And before I was vegan, I tried all sorts of foods, but I tell you what, the diet I'm on now is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you never used to eat salad or fruit or anything before, and now he has to.
I've never been healthier.
That's great.
Yeah. But we're all a community. We're all here for one another, and as Paul said, sometimes it is a really dark time with all the footage and everything that we see, but we just got to keep going. And whatever your niche is, whether it is stickers, if you're a family like us and you don't always have time, we're always trying to do something, have a chat with someone, then just do what you've got to do. But we've all got to do something.
Well said. Reese? Come on, Reese, you were last. You had the most time to prepare.
You know what, guys? We're living in 2021. There has never been a more simple time to be vegan. There's no excuse anymore. And if somebody gives you an excuse and you think they might have a good one, just Google it, because they probably don't. I think you try to remember how it felt before you went vegan in your activism. I think that's where I fall down an awful lot, and I think a lot of people do. I think this person is doing an awful thing, but this person doesn't really think like that. You know what I mean? You need to remember their mindset and try to relate to that, and that's how you're going to make the difference, in my opinion.
Definitely. I know what you mean there, because when I look at an egg, I see baby chicks going along a conveyor belt about to be ground up. When my brother sees an egg, he sees an egg. They don't necessarily see the inherent cruelty in some of the products. So definitely agree with that one there. Anyway, what is he laughing at?
Reese needs me, yeah, because because it's in his family, isn't it? His aristocratic family will make him an MP.
No.
So yeah, don't worry about that. He'll be an MP.
I'd like to. Obviously, it's getting late now, and I don't want to get. But I'd like to say, everyone, go subscribe to Grumpy Vegan Grandad on YouTube, and he's on other social media as well. I think he's Danny Chef on Instagram. And all his other places. Just go to his channel. I'm sure he's got links for everything. And we've got Paul from Hench Herbivore there. Don't forget to go to subscribe to Paul's amazing content as well. And he does quite a lot of live streams. Apart from the amazing videos and the response stuff, he also does quite a few lives every week with Gemma and Cowboy. Go and see who Cowboy is. He's the star. And then we've got UK Vegan Family, Adam and Danny. Go subscribe to those guys. So those guys are now over 1,000, aren't you? Now over 1,000 subscribers. So
yeah, but we've been having a break. So we've been going on holidays and
definitely well deserved. Stuff, so. Let's get up to 2,000.
No pressure.
And then we've got Reese, as I say, that's Peace with Reese is Reese's channel, and he's on every social media that hasn't banned him yet, and he's absolutely amazing. Go check out his new video. I can't say too many good things about it. He's done so much editing. It's like super top-notch professional editing. But it's not just about the editing though. The content and the way he's put it over is absolutely amazing.
It's an amazing story.
I appreciate that, guys.
Worth checking out. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Subscribe to me if you're not already. You can check me out on Instagram at the Vegan Mooncat and Twitter and everywhere else exactly the same. Lolly is saying thanks to everyone, so that's great stuff. And I think that was a really good stream, and I really appreciate you all coming and chatting to me. And it was like literally the most civilized and great stream I think I've ever been on. It's like really, really good.
Vegan camp out, guys.
Vegan camp out. That's me. I'm going to vegan camp out.
Can I sleep in your tent, Mark? Mark, can I sleep in your tent?
I'm in a hotel. I'm not staying in a field in a sack.
I've got tickets. But I've got serious visa issues, so we'll have to see.
Oh, no.
The Lord of Wales will sort you something out, surely.
We'll see. I've got a meeting with him on Wednesday, so we'll see.
Thanks again, everyone, then. I really appreciate it. I shall end the stream now. These guys will probably still be on when I click the end broadcast button. But again, thanks to everyone in the chat. And anyone who won a Vegan Mooncat stress ball, message me on Instagram at the Vegan Mooncat and we'll get you sorted out. So thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Peace.
See ya.
Again.